Hey there, Internet Scrubs, and welcome back to part 2 of Fallout 4 Pros and Cons. At least in my opinion. If you agree, disagree, or somewhere in between, drop me a comment and slap that like button and let's start a discussion. So, here we go. The cons of Fallout 4. Okay, so quick shout out to Bethesda. Stop making shit awkward. If you're going to have romance in a game, it needs to be done well or not done at all. In Bethesda's case, it just feels like they threw it in with no thought or care, or just to say, hey, it's part of our game too, which ends up breaking the story immersion and ends with awkward lines followed by awkward replies or awkward silence. Kinda like this.
Just wanted to check in, see how you feel things are going between us.
The day you told me that you loved me was the greatest day of my life. Hello? Anyone in there?
Yeah, awkward. Only two companies come to mind for putting romance aspects into games and actually making them work, and that's BioWare and CD Projekt Red. Are the romances mandatory? No. But if you choose to add a romance aspect to your story, they do this with flying colors. Taking notes from either of these companies would help Bethesda. Otherwise, they shouldn't even be bothered.
I never knew you could do that with music.
Hope you don't mind, but I've got another favor to ask. I've had word from a settlement asking for help.
Blah, blah, blah.
While the Minutemen are the group that I tend to ally myself with, the missions involved are repetitive and tend to become busy work and boring. I can't count how many times I went to a settlement only to go back to the Corvega building to clear out the same raiders that I cleared out just hours ago. I think Bethesda should have made a type of closing effect for Minutemen missions. For instance, if you have defenses, food, water, and living conditions to a certain level, then that settlement should become self-sufficient and permanent allies of the Minutemen to be called upon. To have the missions just continuously replay is boring and makes you want to begin ignoring the missions completely. The main story arc of Fallout 4 makes no sense. The story begins strong, but then ends with facts being muddied. So, okay, your son is kidnapped, you set out to find your stolen child, you enter Diamond City to discover that your son is now 10 years old. This is plausible, and still makes for a great story. However, when you enter the Institute, you are to believe that your son is actually 60 years old, is dying, and the leader of the Institute. What? So, okay, let's just allow the game to speak for itself here.
It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
Bullshit!
Ellie, what notes do we have about the Kellogg case?
The description matches. Bald head, scar.
And he had a kid with him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The house in the abandoned West Stands. The boy with him was around 10 years old.
Either way, they both vanished a while back.
You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years?
Bullshit!
Is that your son? This appears to be a very recent memory, so...
And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
Bullshit!
Wasn't my idea to settle down with the kid in the middle of Diamond City. But it was one of the old man's pet projects, so here we were.
Really done it this time. I mean, I'm saying she's right, but...
Bullshit!
In my opinion, Bethesda should have stuck with the plot that your son is 10 and is inside the Institute. They've been using his DNA to create human synth hybrids, and now you have the option to join the Institute and allow them to continue their experiments, but with you in your child's place. Or rescue your son and destroy the Institute. That's right, Bethesda. Hire me to write your stories. Moving on.
Tell me it's rusty. Should we take this outside?
It ain't like that. I'm just here to deliver a message.
In case you forgot, I left the Gunners for good.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't take orders from you. Not anymore. So why don't you take your girlfriend and walk out of here while you still can?
Matthew Mercer does an amazing job bringing the character of MacReady to life. So much, in fact, that Bethesda misses a golden opportunity to build onto the character. MacReady is found in the third rail as a gun for hire, and as you build a relationship with the character, he reveals to you about how he wants to take out the Gunners, so they'll leave him alone, and then after completing that mission and building up more relationship, he tells you about his previous appearance in Fallout 3 as the mayor of Little Lamplight, and then tells you the heart-wrenching story of what happened to his wife and son. Once he tells you that, it prompts a mission to go obtain a serum to save MacReady's son. Once you obtain that serum, a romance can ensue with the character, and all missions for MacReady are deemed as completed. And this is where Bethesda misses that that golden opportunity for not only romances, but for MacReady as a character. Instead of just going to Daisy and having the serum delivered on, with a trader to where his son is located, I think it would have been more personal and would have had a deeper impact if you, as his companion, take him to his son and then allow the option to bring his son to one of the secured outposts, such as Sanctuary, so you can see the improvements taken over time as the serum takes effect on his illness. In this light, MacReady would have been built into a more relatable character. Matthew Mercer's talent would have been exceeded in the story. He would have really been able to shine. They would have added that little something extra that just tugs at your heartstrings. And, MacReady is definitely one of my favorite, most memorable characters in Fallout 4. And for me personally, I feel that Bethesda missed a fantastic opportunity to make this game rival that of BioWare for touching stories and memorable characters. That was your opportunity, Bethesda. You missed it. Ow.